Hey there, ready to dive into some seriously cool AI?
I'm ready.
We're talking AI that learns with barely any data.
Oh, yeah.
Few shot, one shot, even zero shot learning.
Wow.
It's changing how AI is being used.
Yeah, it really is.
Everywhere, really.
It's remarkable how AI has traditionally been all about these massive data sets.
Right.
But these new techniques are changing.
Yeah.
They're making AI far more efficient,
Oh.
adaptable.
You're probably already using it and don't even know it.
That's right.
Think about how your phone unlocks just from seeing your face once.
Yeah.
Or how platforms like Spotify suggest songs you'll love after just a few listens.
It's revolutionizing everything.
Wow.
From medical diagnoses to personalized recommendations.
That's so cool.
Where algorithms can predict what you want to buy or watch with uncanny accuracy.
Let's break this down so we're all on the same page.
Sure.
Can you give us a clear definition of few shot, one shot, and zero shot learning? I think that would help.
So let's start with few shot learning.
Okay.
Imagine learning to make pasta.
Okay.
You watch a couple of videos, try a recipe or two,
Right.
and you've got it.
I get it.
That's kind of like how few shot learning works for AI.
Interesting.
The model learns from a small number of examples to get the hang of a new task.
So it's like giving the AI a crash course.
Yeah.
Instead of drowning it in data.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah.
What about one-shot learning?
One-shot learning is like meeting someone at a party, only seeing their face once, and then being able to recognize them later.
I see.
The AI learns from just a single example to perform a task.
Pretty impressive.
Pretty impressive, right?
Okay, so it's like AI with a photographic memory.
Yeah.
Now, zero-shot learning.
Yeah.
That sounds almost impossible.
This is where things get really fascinating.
Really?
Imagine an AI identifying a rare bird species.
Okay.
It's never seen before.
Wow.
Not because it was trained on that specific bird.
Right. But because it can apply its general knowledge about birds' shapes and colors.
It's interesting.
To figure it out.
So cool.
That's zero-shot learning in action.
It's like AI is becoming a master detective using its existing knowledge to solve brand new cases.
Exactly.
But how does all this actually work? What's the secret sauce?
The key is something called pre-trained models.
Okay.
Think of them like AI prodigies that have already devoured a massive amount of information. We're talking text, images, code, you name it.
Wow.
They come preloaded with a deep understanding of patterns and relationships within that data.
So they're like AI super brains with a ton of general knowledge.
Precisely.
Wow.
For few-shot learning, we take these pre-trained models and fine-tune them with those few specific examples.
Right, so they're not starting from scratch.
Exactly.
They already have a strong foundation to build upon.
Now, with one-shot and zero-shot learning,
we don't even need to do that fine-tuning.
I see.
We can leverage their existing knowledge and understanding to tackle new challenges.
So they're using their smarts to generalize and make connections?
Yeah.
Kind of like a seasoned expert would?
Exactly.
That's incredible.
It is.
But this all sounds pretty theoretical.
Sure.
Let's get into some real-world examples where this is actually making a difference.
Absolutely.
Okay.
One of the most exciting applications is in healthcare.
Okay.
Few-shot learning is being used to develop AI systems that can assist doctors in diagnosing rare diseases.
Oh, wow.
Imagine a doctor in a remote area who encounters a condition they've never seen before.
That sounds like a scary situation for both the doctor and the patient.
It is.
Yeah.
But with few-shot learning, that doctor could use an AI system trained on a small set of images and data to get help with identifying the disease and recommending potential treatments.
Wow, that's truly groundbreaking.
It is groundbreaking.
It's like having a specialist on call. No matter where you are.
Exactly.
And it's not just diagnosis.
Right.
Few-shot learning is being used to personalize treatment plans.
Yes.
Predict patient outcomes. And even accelerate drug discovery.
It's really amazing.
It sounds like few-shot learning is giving healthcare a serious upgrade.
Absolutely.
What about one-shot learning?
Yeah.
What's it doing out in the real world?
Think about something you probably use every day.
Okay.
Your smartphone's face unlock feature.
Right.
It's a perfect example of one-shot learning in action.
My phone learns to recognize my face from just a single photo.
Exactly.
Super convenient.
But
I never really thought about how it actually works.
It's one-shot learning at its finest.
Cool.
The AI model takes that one image of your face, analyzes its unique features, and creates a template that it can then use to verify your identity every time you unlock your phone.
So it's not just about convenience. It's also about security and personalization.
It is.
Okay, so one-shot learning is all about efficiency and individual recognition.
Yeah.
What about zero-shot learning?
Zero-shot learning is making waves in the world of chatbots.
Oh.
You know how they're popping up everywhere these days?
Oh, yeah.
Well, zero-shot learning is enabling these chatbots to translate languages.
Wait, seriously?
Seriously.
How can they translate something they've never even seen before?
Remember those pre-trained models we talked about?
Yeah.
They have a deep understanding of language in general.
Right.
So they can apply that knowledge to figure out how to translate between languages.
Okay.
Even if they haven't seen that specific language pairing before.
So it's like AI becoming a universal translator.
Exactly.
Able to bridge language barriers with ease.
And it's not just language.
What else?
Zero-shot learning is also being used for things like image recognition, where AI can identify objects it's never seen before.
Wow.
And sentiment analysis, where it can understand the emotional tone of text, even for brands it's never encountered.
Okay, this is blowing my mind.
Yeah.
But with all this power, I have to ask, are there any challenges?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it brings us to a crucial point.
Okay.
While these techniques are incredibly promising, they do come with some challenges and limitations.
So let's talk about those potential pitfalls.
Okay.
What are some of the hurdles researchers are working to overcome?
With few-shot learning, one challenge is the risk of overfitting.
Okay.
This is when the AI model learns the small data set too well.
Okay.
Almost memorizing it.
Right.
And then struggles to generalize to new examples.
So it becomes too focused on that specific information and can't adapt to new situations.
Exactly.
I see.
Researchers use techniques like regularization and data augmentation to combat this, making sure the AI doesn't become too fixated on the limited examples it's seen.
So it's about finding that sweet spot between learning from the small data set and being able to apply that knowledge broadly.
Exactly.
What about one-shot learning?
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges there?
One of the biggest challenges for one-shot learning is dealing with data that's unique or highly varied. Think about facial recognition again.
Right.
Every face is different with variations in lighting angle and even expressions.
So how does the AI model handle those differences when it's only seeing one image of your face?
That's where the real ingenuity comes in.
Okay.
Researchers are constantly working on ways to make these models more robust, training them on diverse data sets that capture all those variations so they can recognize a face no matter the circumstances.
It's like giving the AI a well-rounded education in faces so it can handle anything.
Exactly.
What about zero-shot learning?
Yeah.
It seems almost magical.
It does.
But I'm guessing there's some limitations there.
Of course. One of the key challenges is that zero-shot learning relies heavily on assumptions.
I see.
Since the AI hasn't seen any examples of the task before, it has to make educated guesses based on its existing knowledge.
So it's kind of taking a leap of faith, hoping its general knowledge will be enough to figure things out.
In a way, yes.
Okay.
And that can lead to inaccuracies if the assumptions are wrong.
Yeah.
Or if the task requires knowledge that the AI simply doesn't have yet.
That makes sense. So how do researchers address this challenge?
It's a constant process of evaluation and refinement.
Right.
They're always testing these models, looking for weaknesses, and finding ways to improve their accuracy and reliability.
So it's all about making sure these AI models are as smart and dependable as possible.
Exactly.
Even when they're working with limited data.
And as these techniques continue to evolve and improve, so too will their potential to revolutionize various industries.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive into the world of AI learning with limited data.
Yeah.
I'm already seeing how it's shaping the technology I use every day.
Me too.
All right, before we move on to the even more amazing stuff.
Okay.
Let's take a quick recap of what we've covered so far.
Sure.
We started by defining the 3 types of learning.
Yeah.
Few shot, one shot, and zero shot.
Exactly.
Then we talked about how they work, the power of pre-trained models.
Yeah.
And some really cool real-world examples.
Yeah, they're really cool.
And finally, we touched on some of the challenges and limitations researchers are working to overcome.
It's important to remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's dive into how these techniques are changing the game across various industries.
Okay.
Are you ready to continue?
Absolutely. I'm ready when you are. One of the most exciting things about few shot, one shot, and zero shot learning is how they're making AI more accessible.
Accessible.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Well, in the past, building advanced AI models was mainly limited to big tech companies.
Right.
With tons of resources.
Because they were the only ones who could afford to collect and handle all that data.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But these new techniques are changing the game. They allow smaller companies, startups, even individual researchers to get into AI without needing those mountains of data.
So it's leveling the playing field.
Exactly.
Giving more people a chance to innovate with AI.
Precisely.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I imagine it also speeds things up.
It definitely.
If you don't have to spend years gathering data.
Right.
You can develop AI solutions much faster.
Right. You got it.
So cool.
One-shot and zero-shot learning in particular really cut down the time and cost of training AI models.
That makes sense.
This is huge in today's fast-paced tech world.
It's like AI development is going into hyperdrive.
Yeah.
What are some examples of how this is impacting different industries? You mentioned healthcare earlier.
Yeah.
But how else is this accessibility changing things?
We're seeing it everywhere.
Yeah.
In healthcare, few-shot learning is helping doctors diagnose those rare diseases.
Okay.
Even in places without a lot of medical specialists.
Right.
It's also being used to create personalized treatments, predict how patients will respond to therapies, and even accelerate the process of discovering new drugs.
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
It sounds like AI is becoming a vital tool for doctors and researchers.
Absolutely.
And it goes beyond healthcare.
Oh, yeah.
In the legal field, for instance. Zero-shot learning is being used to analyze legal documents.
Right.
And predict case outcomes.
It helps lawyers be more efficient and effective.
So AI is becoming a legal expert too.
You could say that
wow.
It can sift through tons of legal information and find relevant precedents much faster than a human could.
That's incredible.
And in education, few-shot learning is helping create personalized learning platforms.
Oh, wow.
These platforms can adapt to each student's individual needs and learning style.
Wow. So it's like having a personal AI tutor for every student.
That's the idea.
That's so cool.
By analyzing a student's performance on just a few exercises, the AI can figure out their strengths and weaknesses, then tailor the learning experience to help them succeed.
That's incredible.
It is incredible.
These techniques are already making such a difference.
Yeah.
And we're just getting started.
Right.
What about you? What are you most excited about for the future of AI and these learning techniques?
I think the potential for democratization is truly transformative.
Yeah.
As these tools become more widely available and easier to use, we'll see a surge in innovation across industries.
Right.
I'm particularly excited about the possibilities in fields like scientific research, where AI can help us make breakthroughs in areas like medicine, climate change, and space exploration.
That's inspiring.
It is inspiring.
But I know we talked about some of the challenges with these techniques earlier.
We did.
Is there anything else you think people should be aware of as AI becomes more powerful and integrated into our lives?
You're right.
Yeah.
It's important to acknowledge that while these advancements offer amazing possibilities, there are potential downsides as well.
What are some of those downsides?
Well,
what should we be thinking about as we move forward with these technologies?
One thing that comes to mind is the issue of unintended bias.
Okay.
Even though AI systems are trained on data,
right,
that data itself can reflect existing biases in society if we're not careful.
Yeah.
These biases can be amplified by AI,
right,
leading to unfair or discriminatory outcomes.
So it's not just about making AI more powerful and efficient.
Right.
It's also about making sure it's used ethically and responsibly.
Absolutely.
That's a great point.
We need to be very conscious of the data we use to train AI systems and ensure that it's representative and unbiased.
Right.
We also need to be aware of the potential consequences of AI's decisions and make sure there are human checks and balances in place.
It sounds like we need a thoughtful approach to AI development.
Yeah, I think so.
One that balances the incredible potential with the need for ethical considerations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
AI is a powerful tool, and like any tool,
right,
it can be used for good or for ill.
That's true.
It's up to us to ensure that it's used to create a better future for everyone.
Well said.
Thank you.
Now, we've explored a lot about few-shot, one-shot, and zero-shot learning, and how they're making AI more efficient and accessible.
Right.
We've looked at real-world examples.
We have.
And talked about some of the challenges and ethical considerations.
Yes.
Before we wrap up,
I
want to bring it back to our listeners and their everyday lives.
Sure.
How is this cutting-edge technology already influencing the way we interact with the world around us?
That's a great question.
I think it's really interesting.
It's fascinating to think about how these techniques are becoming seamlessly integrated into our daily routines.
Right.
Yeah.
It's easy to overlook the AI that's working behind the scenes.
It is.
But it's becoming more and more pervasive.
Absolutely.
What are some examples that our listeners might be familiar with?
Let's take personalized recommendations, for example.
Okay.
When you're shopping online and you see suggestions for products you might like.
Right.
Or when a streaming service suggests movies you'll enjoy.
Yeah.
That's often powered by few-shot learning.
So even though those platforms might not have a ton of data about my individual preferences,
right,
they can still make surprisingly accurate recommendations based on just a few clicks or ratings.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
And it's not just limited to online shopping or entertainment.
What else?
Think about spam filters in your email inbox.
Yeah.
They use few-shot learning to identify and block spam messages. Even if they've never seen that exact message before.
It's like they're learning on the fly.
Yeah.
Constantly adapting to new spam tactics.
That's right.
Wow.
And when your smart speaker understands your voice commands,
okay,
even if you phrase them in a slightly different way each time,
yeah,
that's often powered by one-shot learning.
So these techniques are already making technology more intuitive and responsive to our individual needs.
They are.
It's incredibly how seamlessly it's all happening.
It really is.
Yeah.
And as these techniques continue to evolve, we can expect even more personalized and intelligent experiences in the future.
This has been a truly eye-opening conversation.
Yeah, it has.
I feel like I have a much better understanding of how AI is learning with limited data.
Good.
And the amazing things that are becoming possible.
It's really quite amazing.
Before we sign off,
okay,
I want to take a moment to recap the key takeaways from our discussion today.
Sure.
We've covered a lot of ground, from the technical details to the real-world implications.
Yeah.
What are some of the most important things you think our listeners should take away from this deep dive?
I think one of the biggest takeaways is that the way we think about AI is changing.
Okay.
We're moving away from the idea that AI needs massive amounts of data to be effective.
Right. It's not just about quantity anymore.
Exactly.
It's about quality and efficiency.
Few shot.
Yeah.
One shot. And zero-shot learning are showing us that AI can learn from limited data and still achieve incredible results.
Amazing.
This is opening up new possibilities for AI applications in all sorts of industries.
Right.
From healthcare and law to education and beyond.
It's democratizing access to AI and accelerating the pace of innovation.
Absolutely.
And I think another important takeaway is that while these advancements are incredibly exciting, it's crucial that we approach them with a sense of responsibility.
You're absolutely right.
We need to be mindful of the potential biases and ethical considerations as we integrate AI more deeply into our lives.
Well said.
It's up to all of us to ensure that AI is used for good.
Yeah.
And that it benefits everyone.
I agree.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of AI that learns with limited data. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty inspired right now.
It is amazing stuff.
It really is.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up completely,
okay,
I want to leave our listeners with a little challenge.
A challenge.
Well, we've talked about all these amazing applications.
Right.
Few shot, one shot, and zero shot learning. But I bet a lot of people are already using these technologies every day.
Oh, yeah.
Without even realizing it.
Absolutely.
So to our listeners, I challenge you to think about the AI tools you use on a daily basis.
Okay.
Maybe it's your smartphone's face unlock.
Right.
Personalized recommendations on your favorite streaming platform.
Yeah.
Or even the chatbot on your bank's website.
Could be any of those things.
Ask yourself, could these be using few shot, one shot, or zero shot learning?
It's very possible.
Chances are they are.
Yeah.
And that's just a glimpse into how this technology is already enhancing our lives.
Right.
In subtle but powerful ways.
It really is amazing how much AI is a part of our lives these days.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you stop and think about it.
It is.
We're living in a time where AI is becoming more intelligent and intuitive every day.
Absolutely.
And these learning techniques are playing a huge role in that evolution.
A huge role.
It really is incredible.
Yeah, it is.
Well, on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive.
Okay.
I want to thank you, our listeners, once again for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
And a huge thank you to our expert for guiding us through this complex topic.
You're welcome.
With such passion and clarity.
That's been a pleasure.
You've definitely given us a lot to think about.
I hope so.
And I'm sure our listeners will be eager to learn more.
Yeah, me too.
If anyone wants to dive deeper into this topic, where would you recommend they go? Are there any resources you suggest?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There are some fantastic online courses and tutorials that provide a more in-depth look at few-shot, one-shot, and zero-shot learning.
Build.
And of course, there's a wealth of information available in research papers and articles.
We'll make sure to include some links to those resources in our show notes for everyone to check out.
That's great.
And for those who want to stay up to date on the latest developments, I recommend following some of the leading AI researchers and organizations on social media.
That's a great idea.
That's a great way to see the cutting edge of AI in action and get a glimpse into the future.
Yeah, it really is.
Who knows, maybe some of our listeners will be inspired to contribute to this field themselves.
I hope so.
The world of AI is full of possibilities.
It is.
And we need bright minds from all backgrounds to help shape its future.
Well said.
I think that's the perfect message to end on.
It is a good message.
To our listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI that learns with limited data.
Yes, thank you.
Until next time, keep exploring and stay curious.
And keep diving deep.